Hey, executive producer Mallory Falk here. And at the end of today's episode, we have a sponsored interview with Caitlin Brook from Bike Pittsburgh, all about Pedal Pittsburgh, Western PA's biggest bike ride. It is happening right here on August 30th. There are going to be 3,000 riders, routes from 10 to 53 miles, and a big after party in Allegheny Commons Park. It sold out last year, so you are going to want to hear this one. It's brought to you by Bike Pittsburgh.
This is CityCast Pittsburgh. I'm Megan Harris, and here's what Pittsburgh's talking about. Laura, Mallory, which Pittsburgh neighborhood do you think is the best to wait out a storm, and why?
I think perhaps, I was going to say up on a hill because I don't want to be in a flood zone, but...
One of the hill neighborhoods?
Yeah, but now I'm like, wait, that puts me closer to the danger.
To the lightning.
To the sky, yeah.
I presume you'd be indoors. You're taking this like...
Well, even still, like if I'm
literally
in my home and it's higher up, then I am fodder for disaster.
Fair.
Yeah, I was thinking more like a flat neighborhood. I don't know, maybe like Manchester somewhere where you're not going to be up by the lightning, but you're not going to have water pouring down. You can just kind of ride out the in-between.
One slight thing against Manchester, I saw the weirdest weather thing I've ever seen in my whole life in that neighborhood once, where it was like tornadic conditions, but it wasn't an actual tornado. Anyway, it was a dumpster floating on a river of water down a street and like right at golden hour. And it was like pouring rain, but also there was sun. And then things started to just waft out of it. It's one of the strangest things I've ever seen with my two eyes.
It's like half of that description sounded very artful and half of it
was beautiful,
upsetting,
but bizarre. I picked downtown personally because there are so many little hidey holes and ways to go from one building or one area to another in downtown without ever actually having to go out into the elements.
Smart.
You can really hit a lot of territory downtown and never get wet.
Yeah, I think I will follow you downtown. Yeah.
I'm with CityCast Pittsburgh executive producer Mallory Falk and CityCast Laura Tsutsui. Laura, you're like our interim everything. You help with social, with newsletter, with the podcast. I'm so glad you're here.
Thanks. Glad to be here. Glad to be back on the pod. 2 days in a row.
I know. Keep them coming. We're going to be talking today about smoke and storms and all the jokes I keep seeing on the internet about living in the end times. Also some fun events to consider when all of this weird weather hopefully passes us by later this week. And also some city news that I personally missed last week when I had the audacity to take a couple days off. So
could you?
We will start with the latter. We are playing a game called Two Truths and a Lie. Is it actually two truths and one lie this time, Mallory?
This time around, so this is like a newer tradition here on CityCast Pittsburgh. We debuted it after Megan's previous time off, but I don't know, we took a little liberty and did two lies and a truth.
I think we just all got confused by the concept.
Yeah. This time around, it is in fact two truths and a lie. And I've actually got 2 rounds for you if you are ready.
I guess I'm the contestant since, Laura, you were actually at work last week.
Yes, I do.
However, Laura, I may look at your face to try to like gauge like yes or no. I'll give you like some hand signals. You can hint for me. We'll see how this plays.
Got to work on my poker face.
Don't work on it.
Okay, so this first category I'm calling arts and entertainment. So Megan, which of the following is a lie? Number 1, National Geographic ran a story about how people don't trick or treat on Canton Avenue because it is so steep. Number 2, Noah Wiley unveiled the Dr. Robbie giveaway bobblehead for the upcoming Pirates game, but it had a misprint on it. Or number 3, the Pittsburgh Walk of Fame announced its 10 new inductees, and one of them is the mom from The Partridge Family, a popular TV series in the 70s.
Okay, that one's true. That one's definitely true because I get to vote for the Pittsburgh Walk of Fame, which is maybe the most exciting thing I can claim about like Pittsburgh street cred. And I was excited that one of my choices won.
I forgot that like, automatically rules out that. I couldn't trick you on that one.
So yes, Shirley Jones was in fact chosen. I think it's the middle one because I think you're intentionally conflating two things where there's no misprint on Dr. Robbie. I think that's a lie. because that's what happened to the Walk of Fame last time.
Yes. Ding, ding, ding. You are correct. Noah Wiley did, in fact, unveil the Dr. Robbie bobblehead, but it did not have a misprint. It looked great. He called it even more beautiful than I imagined. So,
That's
yes,
wonderful.
There was a lie embedded in that truth.
Did he come to town for it, or did we mail him a bobblehead?
That is a good question. I don't know the answer to, because he unveiled it on social, but like I think in a nondescript room.
Oh, I bet he did it on set, which would mean it would be in California, which, like, fair.
Yes, and if you want to get your hands on this bobblehead that does not have a misprint, the first 20,000 fans at the Pirates-Cubs game this Saturday are going to get a bobblehead. To me, I know like we've got people on our team whose favorite giveaway is the bucket hat, but I think this takes it to another level.
No, I want a bucket hat.
Well, that's awesome. Bobbleheads on Saturday, and I think they're doing the Daniel Tiger little plushie Pirates giveaway on Sunday. It's a good giveaway weekend for the Pirates.
Yeah, it's Yinzer Palooza weekend, which is why they're giving away the good giveaways.
The good stuff.
Fingers crossed our air quality is decent this weekend. And then, so yes, bobbleheads real, Walk of Fame real. And then National Geographic, in honor of America 250, put together this Wonders of America list featuring Canton Avenue as the steepest street in the continental U.S. And this neighbor talked about how residents there don't buy candy because trick-or-treaters are not trying to go up that steep slope for the holiday.
I think that seems fair. You know, like if nothing else, like the whole neighborhood could just meet the children down at the bottom of the street. I don't know if this happens, but I think that would be fun.
So Megan, I was going to also include a guessing game for you, but maybe you know the answer, which is who got inducted this time around, who is actually going to be present at the Walk of Fame ceremony.
I do know that one.
You do know this.
Mario Lemieux. Pittsburgh hero in some way, I think that's safe to say. Was a Penguin for a long time, owned the team for a long time, and is still incredibly well known and philanthropic around here.
Okay, so second round, I'm calling this litigation corner. Which of these complaints or suits is the lie? So number one, a youth advocacy group filed a complaint to try to stop the Market Square curfew, the curfew that teens have to be accompanied by adults during certain times. Number two, a group of parents filed a complaint trying to stop school closures. Pittsburgh Public Schools is slated to close a bunch of buildings. And number three, the city of Pittsburgh filed a lawsuit to try to break up an alleged monopoly among fire truck manufacturers.
I have no idea on this one. 3 seems too weird to not be true. Maybe?
Good deductive reasoning there.
Wait, what were the other 2?
Trying to stop the Market Square curfew or trying to stop PPS closures?
I'm going to say PPS is the lie, but I don't know for sure.
That, in fact, is a truth. Yes.
Okay. So it's Market Square.
Market Square is the lie. A group of 5 local parents filed a complaint with the top civil rights agency in the state, alleging that the closure plan unlawfully discriminates against Black students. It affects Black students at like a higher rate than they actually make up the population of the school district. So we'll see what happens with that. And then, Pittsburgh filed this antitrust lawsuit alleging that more than 24 fire truck manufacturers are engaging in this conspiracy to monopolize the market for parts, which makes prices go up. And there's similar lawsuits that have been filed in Milwaukee and Los Angeles County. So this seems to be maybe a national issue.
Yeah. Okay. And then Market Square, I guess, just the curfew remains.
Came out of my brain. Yep.
Still exists.
Okay. Yeah. But, maybe you're sparking some initiative for someone there, Mallory.
Today's episode is sponsored by YWCA Greater Pittsburgh. They're currently accepting nominations for the 2026 Equity Awards, which honor community members who support their vision of a world where everyone has equitable access to professional and personal opportunities free from injustice. There are 5 award categories: Ally, Bridge Builder, Creative Arts and Innovation, Emerging Leader, and Heroine. Nominations are going to be accepted through Friday, July 24th. YWCA Greater Pittsburgh also encourages self-nominations and especially wants to recognize women of color. So if you or someone you know has been stepping up for your community, this is the perfect opportunity to honor that work. And honorees will be recognized at the Equity Awards Luncheon on Thursday, November 19th at the Westin Pittsburgh. Learn more about the awards categories and submit your nomination today at ywcapgh.org.
Okay, we are moving on to weather. Laura, you better pipe up here because you did not help me at all. Not one little bit in those games.
I'm sorry.
And I want to hear from you.
Okay.
So it could be another rough weather day today on Tuesday. Not smoke this time, but storms. So depending on what time you are listening to us, you may have heard some storms already early this morning. You might be in the thick of it now. Hopefully it's not going to be as bad as the National Weather Service is predicting, but just in case, we thought we would give you the gist.
Yeah, so as of the time that we're recording, there are storms predicted from noon to 8 p.m. today. Worst of it being in that noon to 1 p.m. And by worst, bad weather, we mean bad winds, really strong, hail, tornadoes, flash flooding. The National Weather Service is saying we could get 3 to 4 inches of rain in that really short time frame. I will not be outside when that is happening.
No. How's your puppy? Both your puppies. How do your puppies do in storms?
Actually quite good. Mine doesn't really react. Like, he was just fine during 4th of July, but what he doesn't like is loud cars. So we live near the Vintage Grand Prix route, and he was like mad about it. He was like, I hate cars. Bark, bark. What about you, Mallory?
Yeah, my dog is also fine with storms, but the struggle I think more was like figuring out, okay, how long can we have her out to like get out her energy and use the bathroom when we're under a code maroon? Like, that was the tricky situation to navigate. And I don't know, I'm hoping that we're not navigating that again this summer, but it seems unclear.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, this weekend was just wild in terms of the smoke from all the Canadian wildfires and how that was kind of coming into our region. Also, just how long it took to dissipate. Apparently, we had a temperature inversion that kept the smoke like trapped around Pittsburgh for a very long time. Temperature inversions can be horrifying under the right conditions. If you've never looked it up, worth a Wikipedia deep dive on the Denora smog incident and just how horrific that was. But even just like separate from that, we did have some storming on the weekend. They've confirmed so far at least 2 tornadoes in Jefferson and Clarion counties. There's another one that they may end up confirming. Tornadoes get studied after the fact, and then they decide whether it was a tornado, and if it was, how strong it was based on damage. So that's kind of how you hear like F1, F2, F3, that sort of thing. So there might be a possible third one that happened in Westmoreland County. I am hoping there are none today, but the conditions are going to be right.
If it's feeling really intense and I'm getting like a phone alert, then I might have to take my dog into the basement and peace out for a little bit during the workday, guys, and just be like, I'm on my phone only. I will not be on my second floor office. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, and if you've never been around like tornadic conditions, that is the right move. Do as Laura does. Find an inner structure. If you have a Pittsburgh basement, that's a good spot. Away from windows, away from doors, away from things that could break if strong winds hit, you know?
And just an important reminder, we've said this before, tornadoes can happen here. I think sometimes Pittsburghers think we're a little bit immune, but we are not. And then like flooding can become an issue because there's so many low-lying spots here. You know, there's the bathtub, Washington Boulevard. So if you see a sign that warns about flash flooding, you should heed it during conditions like these. Do not think you can power through these intersections.
Yeah, I mean, and even if your commute, like even if there's no flash flooding sign, if you know that your commute passes through like a low spot near a creek or like a stream, some kind of body of water, just be cautious because spots like that can fill up so fast and it may not last long, but you don't want to be the car that's there in the moment that happens.
Yes. And also a reminder, if you are someone who is inclined to swim in our rivers, or boat,
like paddleboard, kayak, just be aware.
Yeah. The rain floods our sewer systems. All that poop water has to go somewhere. So, you know, if we do see that kind of flooding, maybe take a beat before you jump right in. I'm sorry to have yet another show where we're talking about poop problems, but, you know, this is summer 2026, so let's all take heed.
Yeah, it's the year of the poop.
It's the end times, guys.
Is it?
The air quality, the tornadoes, the poop water.
I don't think this is end times. I think this is your chickens coming home to roost. Like humans have effed around for a long time and now we're finding out. That's all.
Okay.
For what it's worth, though, I mean, it is actually a pretty like heavy, severe storm year. The Post-Gazette did some digging about this, and they said it is an unusually active year. So we've had 259 severe thunderstorm and tornado warnings so far. So that's as we're recording this on Monday. That's just this year in 2026. And I guess that's the fourth most since Pittsburgh started keeping track of this stuff 40 years ago, so in 1986. Not for nothing, that 259, like those severe warnings, includes 18 confirmed tornadoes. So those storms have yielded big bads in our region, like kind of all around Pittsburgh. I think it also includes like East Ohio, northern West Virginia, so like kind of our large swath of the Pittsburgh region.
And sorry, as the newest Pittsburgher in the room, are they seasonal? So, like, once the warmer weather subsides, we will not have tornadoes?
I mean, storms like this are usually in your shoulder seasons, like spring and fall. You'll note, though, that this is July and we're dealing with this.
Yes.
It's any tornadic conditions, at least, is anytime you have cold moving into hot with the right dew point. So anytime you're like watching the weather and you watch like one of the, they do have like the arc or whatever and they smash into each other, that's where the bad stuff comes. That's when you get the red cells. And I mean, in smaller towns like sirens and stuff, I've never heard. Fun fact, actually, the tornado sirens of my youth are the same as fire sirens here in Pittsburgh. So that's never not messed with my brain.
This is the first time I've lived in a place with tornadic conditions, and I didn't take them seriously. Not that I've been caught in a tornado, knock on wood, but I'm like, oh no, this is real. Like, I got to cancel my plans. I will not be going anywhere tomorrow night.
I see, on the flip side, I feel like most Pittsburghers are like, are earthquakes real? You would have something
and
to say
I'm over
about
here
that.
like, yes.
But I also feel like the past week has I think there is this sense that Pittsburgh is more insulated from the effects of climate change than some other parts of the country. I mean, when I was living in El Paso and there were triple digit days for like a month solid, I was very relieved to come back home to Pittsburgh after that. But I think what we are seeing is nowhere is fully immune. And yes, Pittsburgh might be a place for climate refugees to come. I mean, I've met people who've said part of why they chose Pittsburgh was feeling like it was a safer bet in our warming world. But this stuff is going to affect everybody.
Yeah, and I do think on the long term, it's not going to get better anytime soon. Mallory, once again, what's that horrible saying that you tell me like once every 6 months?
Oh, it's gotten even worse. So initially it was the summer you're experiencing now is the coolest summer you will ever experience for the rest of your life. But now I've seen people say the coolest and least smoky summer you will ever experience for the rest of your life.
Cool. Way to up that one. The good news is that at least here in Pittsburgh, right now, that today is supposed to be the worst of it. So air quality, better, still not great. Like I said, there's been that temperature inversion. But hopefully as you're listening to this, maybe it's improved. As we're talking, we are still in a code orange. Reminder, orange is still dicey for people with respiratory conditions, for kids, for older folks, for animals. So just make smart choices for you and your family. Okay, and rounding us out today, Laura is going to tell us what to plan for later this week. We've got some good news once all the bad weather is gone. Hopefully it'll be slightly cooler temperatures. What are we going to be getting into?
Yes. Okay. So I have a few options for you. The first one I'm going to shout out is Thursday night. I will be going to Free Ride Pittsburgh's Gender Expensive Mechanics Night, or GEMS Night, from 6 to 9 p.m. They hold this once a month. If you don't know, Free Ride is a nonprofit bike shop and mechanic space. You can go and buy like low-cost materials. Contributor Colin Williams had a really lovely write-up in City Paper about it because it is 25 years old now, and he spoke to my friend and Free Ride board president, Jacob Williams, about like the legacy of Free Ride and all this stuff. Anyway, I'm excited to go to this event though, because although Free Ride is always open to people of all genders and identities, sometimes it is nice to know you're going to be just around women and femmes if that's how you identify. Especially, I just kind of get nervous. I don't want someone to like mansplain how to do things. I really do want to learn. So I'm excited to like maybe make some community, get a little repair on my bike, and not get flat so much. So that is the first thing that I'm looking forward to.
Is that a thing?
I get a lot. So I have 2 bikes, and my non-electric bike gets a lot of flats. I have a friend that I was doing a lot of biking with, and literally like we went on maybe like 3 rides in a row, and I was like getting a flat every time, and she was kind of like, I think you need to retire this bike. And I was like, no, I think it's just the wheel. I don't know. So, but I have like good memories of this bike. It's like my first car, you know?
Aw.
Do you have any kind of attachment like that to a bike, Mallory?
Not really. I haven't like.
You're normal. Cool.
Well, I just haven't like had any. But I had this bike I really loved that my husband got me as a gift when I was missing a bike from my life. So I would have had that attachment, but then I traded it for an e-bike. So.
Okay.
Laura, I still have the first bike I ever bought when I was in college. It was, I think, $250, like clearance bike. She's still doing great. Has taken me to DC and back and all over Ohio. I love this thing.
Still kicking.
There are better models out there, but she is mine. She is mine forever.
Yeah, I do think that's like the beautiful thing about a bike is it can live a long life, but you gotta take care of it. And I have not, so gonna learn how. The second thing that I'm bringing you is a bit more pick your own adventure. We're in the middle of the Great Pittsburgh Book Crawl. This started last week. It actually ends Sunday, but if you are just jumping in now, this is an event where you swing by a local bookshop, you get a free passport, and then for every bookshop you visit, you get a stamp, you know, during the span that the book crawl runs, which is from now, like I said, until, well, technically it started July 18th, until this Sunday. And if you go to 15 or more stores during the event, you will be entered to win prizes through a raffle drawing. So if you are a book lover, that could be a really fun thing. I personally went by my local Riverstone over the weekend to get the Emily Wilson translation of the Odyssey, because I saw the movie and it was great. And I called ahead to see if they were dog friendly, and they are. So I also walked my dog there, and it was just so lovely. It was kind of hot. It was almost a little too hot to be walking my dog, but we got to sit and like relax for a bit. And I just love a bookshop environment. Like, that's kind of a cliche, but even if you aren't a big reader, I find bookshops always have amazing gifts as well. Like, especially the local ones have really nice, cute, like Pittsburgh cards from like local makers sometimes, and notebooks and things like that. So lots to see there.
Laura, I love that you brought this one up because last week when we did this events roundup, this is new to the pod. Francesca DeBecco also recommended the book crawl. So this is co-signed now by 2 people in the CityCast Pittsburgh orbit. We also have, not for nothing, a lengthy list on our website, pittsburgh.citycast.fm, of independent bookstores all over our region. Many of them are participating in this book crawl. So if you cannot make it this week, consider this an invitation to check out your local bookstore whenever it's convenient for you. But yes, Laura, I'm with you. Even if it's not like a book you're in the market for, they're just like great ways to like spend 5 minutes, you know, scroll
100%.
through, see what you like, take a pretty picture, put it on social, say nice things about a bookstore and a small business in your community.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, my last thing that I'm bringing you, keeping with the cozy theme, is the Steel Valley Yarn Crawl. That starts this Thursday, July 24th, and it actually runs for 3 weeks until August 9th. That might feel like a really long time to do a crawl because part of the challenge is like hitting all the stores in the amount of time. And there are only 9 shops participating, but when they say Steel Valley, they do mean beyond the greater Pittsburgh region. So the furthest one is actually in Ligonier. So it's a little far, but you don't have to go to every shop. I saw that the website for the yarn crawl actually has route suggestions, which I will be following so that I can hit like a couple shops in a weekend. But like I couldn't possibly drive all the way to Ligonier and then to the, you know, in the opposite direction and back home in a weekend. I have other things to be doing. But that is kind of fun if you are into fiber crafts or arts or want to get into it. And then I just happened to go by my nearest yarn shop over the weekend, which is Wild Child Stitches in Garfield. And they told me they're going to have extended hours throughout the yarn crawl. And they're not the only shop who will. And then they're also going to have like a coffee truck parked outside and like pop-ups with other like yarn and fiber craft related folks. And I expect other shops will have similar events. One thing I do want to note though, if you haven't gotten into bespoke yarn, if you were like a Joann's person, RIP, or a Michael's person, sometimes this yarn can be a little pricey. because that is the cost of like ethically produced materials. So like I'm crying a little bit, but I paid $20 for a skein of wool yarn.
What is this? What is a skade?
Skein, I think. If someone comes at me, I'm going to be sad, but SKEIN is of yarn, is like the bundle of yarn.
It's the big, like, pre-organized wad of yarn.
Yes. But I just wanted to caution people, if you're like, oh, I like crocheting, but then you're like, again, like I said, $20 sometimes. But if buying things ethically is something that you want to try to do, then you can do that. But you could also, like, one of these shops is going to have someone who like hand carves crochet hooks, which I'm like, ooh, that's the kind of stuff I'm into. That'll probably still won't be cheap, but I'm just excited to like go visit and check out some other spaces that I don't normally frequent. I opt for convenience often, and I think this is a good way to like get a little more plugged into the community and just learn more about like what events do they have, like is this a cool vibe and would I want to come to maybe like a craft night there. So that's why I'm excited about those events.
I would also encourage folks to like consider this an opportunity to like go explore some of these little communities. I'm looking at the website now, and not all of them are out and about. Like I've got like a Squirrel Hill one. There's a Sewickley one, Oakmont,
One in Oakmont,
Bellevue. But like even like Ligonier, for example, like that's where Idlewild is. Like you could do multiple things in one day if you wanted to. There's one up here in New Brighton, Pennsylvania. Like if you've never been to like Beaver Falls, for example, it's got the cutest main street. And then you can also pop over to the riverside and see the enormous cracker plant, which looks like an alien community across the river. Like there's stuff to see.
Yeah, I'm going to go to this yarn shop and then be like, what is this alien?
Yeah, do both.
Can't wait.
It'll be fun.
Mm-hmm.
And reminder, if you need more events inspiration, you can always find that in our newsletter and on our website, pittsburgh.citycast.fm/events. If you become a CityCast Pittsburgh neighbor, a member, you will get a dedicated email once a week with advance notice of what to look forward to in the week ahead to help you plan in advance. So do that at membership.citycast.fm.
And don't go anywhere because in just a second, Mallory is going to be back with a sponsored segment with Bike Pittsburgh about Pedal Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania's largest bike ride.
Hey, executive producer Mallory Falk here with Caitlin Brook, events manager at Bike Pittsburgh. Caitlin, welcome to CityCast Pittsburgh.
Hi, Mallory. Thanks for having me on. I'm very excited. I'm a huge fan of the show, so very excited to be here.
Well, I am a huge fan of the work Bike Pittsburgh does to make the city more accessible to bikers and pedestrians. And for folks who aren't familiar with Pedal Pittsburgh, what exactly is it and what can people expect on the day?
Yeah, absolutely. So Pedal Pittsburgh, or Pedal PGH, is the largest event that we throw of the year, and it is also Western Pennsylvania's biggest bike ride. So we are really excited to have this kind of flagship Pittsburgh tradition sort of event hosted every year. And this year it's on Sunday, August 30th. And it starts and ends in the beautiful Allegheny Commons Park on Pittsburgh's historic north side.
And I know Pedal Pittsburgh is a ride on the street with regular car traffic. So what makes this different from, say, riding around town on your own?
Pedal Pittsburgh is really a ride at your own pace. Bring your friends with you. Every year, Pedal PGH brings together thousands of people across ages, abilities, backgrounds, experiences to explore Pittsburgh and its vibrant communities and all its different neighborhoods on two wheels. So think about you and 3,000 of your besties coming out to explore Pittsburgh from a different perspective. It's a social event, and it's a way to experience Pittsburgh's bike network that you may not do every day if you're not a cyclist. This is an event for beginners, for seasoned cyclists. There is a route distance for everyone. This year we have a 10-mile course, a 25-mile course, and a 53-mile very hilly course, if that's your thing. So it is a great way to, get your feet wet with biking around the city, with lots of people around you in a supportive and safe environment. And if you're one of those people who are crushing Pittsburgh's hills all the time, maybe you are doing that on your own. And riding with a big group like this provides a different sense of community and brings more elements together of like how we are actually making connections with the people and the neighborhoods in the city around us.
And why do Bike Pittsburgh events like Pedal Pittsburgh matter beyond just being fun? What is the bigger picture here?
The bigger picture is really making Pittsburgh a place where people feel safe biking and walking in their communities. Bike Pittsburgh works hard and tirelessly with, city and county and all of our members and supporters to make this a place where people can feel safe going outside their front door. So Pedal Pittsburgh helps people feel more comfortable biking in the city. It gives them a supported and positive experience while riding on Pittsburgh streets, which maybe they've never done before. And Pedal Pittsburgh also shows how our neighborhoods can be connected through different bike routes that people can incorporate in their daily lives. Pedal Pittsburgh is Bike Pittsburgh's largest fundraiser of the year. And we really can't do all the work that we do without this amazing event and the thousands of people that come out. It's really all about safer biking and walking and safer communities.
So if someone wants to sign up for Pedal Pittsburgh, where should people go to sign up? And is there anything they should know if they want to get in before it sells out?
We have been selling out the past few years, which is very exciting. And we are set to sell out again this year. So the sooner the better that you can head over to pedalpgh.org to get your registration in is the way to go. We usually sell out in early August. So getting your registration early, getting your friends together. We have lots of folks who ride together in teams. They wear, fun costumes. They wear silly things on their helmets, tutus, you name it. Get your friends together, get your family together, get your registrations before we sell out. And it is a fully supported ride, which means there are rest stops throughout the course. There are snacks, there are water stations. We have mechanics and support vehicles also along the way if anyone were to need it. So that is something that makes this a little bit different than going out on a ride on your own as well, because there is support along the way for you and also a big party at the end.
Well, Caitlin, thank you so much. This sounds like so much fun. I know many people who've participated and had a blast, and I'm inspired to participate this year.
Yay, Mallory. We hope you come out and bring the CityCast team as well. We would love to see you swagged out in all of your CityCast gear.
Reminder that Pedal Pittsburgh is happening Sunday, August 30th. You can head to pedalpgh.org to register and find all the details. Thanks for listening.
That is all for today here on CityCast Pittsburgh. We are also doing our annual listener survey. It would really help us if you took it. We want to learn more about our audience so we can hopefully better serve the city, the people in it, everyone listening. You can find it at citycast.fm/survey. It is quick, about 7 minutes from start to finish, and survey takers are going to be eligible to win a $250 Visa gift card and also some CityCast Pittsburgh swag. Again, that's citycast.fm/survey. And if this sounds familiar, if you think, I took this last year, we still want to hear from you. It would be so great if you could take it again. We can't use old data anymore. So last time, citycast.fm/survey. We'll be back tomorrow with more from around the city. We'll talk to you soon.
Guys, he is absolutely on set. I don't know why I called this a nondescript room. It is very clearly part of the set of the pit.
It could be in a real hospital. I don't know.
I mean, in fairness, like the pit is a series of nondescript rooms with medical equipment. I think it's fair.